On this occasion, we are required to find the length of the side PS. Inside of this diagram, we have quite a few known values that we may use in helping us to find PS. We have the hypotenuse of as a matter of fact, PS is inside of this right-angled triangle, and we have the hypotenuse of the right-angled triangle, which is 8 centimeters. We also have two angles, 30 and 60 degrees. Those angles will make our work that much easier. In a right-angled triangle with one angle equal to 60 degrees, the side that is adjacent to that angle is half of the hypotenuse. Remember that we are talking about a right-angled triangle. In a right-angled triangle, the side that is adjacent to the 60 degrees angle, if there's a 60 degrees angle, and we surely have one right here, the side that is adjacent to the 60 degrees angle is half of the hypotenuse. Therefore, we begin very early by finding our side PS, if we have that knowledge. The hypotenuse is 8 centimeters, a half of 8 is 4 centimeters, and we have found the side PS in a few seconds. This might not be an acceptable method in the examination, but it is quite useful, because at least you will begin by knowing what the length of PS is. You have the length of PS, therefore you have the knowledge ahead of time what that side PS should be. That should be very useful, just in case you make a mistake. With the other method, you already know what the correct answer should be. We may use the fact that PS is adjacent to the 60 degrees angle and the hypotenuse is 8 centimeters and use a trig ratio to find PS. Trig ratios are only applicable in their pure form to right-angled triangles. We know that PS is adjacent to the 60 degrees angle, and we know the hypotenuse. Adjacent, hypotenuse, what do? Adjacent and hypotenuse are the side, and as a matter of fact, we are saying adjacent because the angle that we are using is the 60 degrees angle, and the side that we are attempting to find is adjacent to that particular angle. Adjacent and hypotenuse, that will be our cosine trig ratio. The trig ratio involving adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. Also, cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. It is important that we do not only know that adjacent and hypotenuse means cosine, but also that cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent side is the one that we are attempting to find, which is PS. So adjacent is replaced by PS. The hypotenuse is the known 8 centimeters. And of course, the angle to which our side in question, PS, is adjacent is the 60 degrees angle. The adjacent, which is what we are trying to find, is PS. The hypotenuse is 8. The angle involved is that 60 degrees angle. We have a simple equation whose solution will give us the length of the side PS that we are attempting to find. In finding the value of PS, we need to eliminate the 8 from this left-hand side on which we have PS. 8 is related to PS by division. We will therefore eliminate this 8 by multiplication. When we have done that, the equation is going to be unbalanced because we would have changed the value or composition of one side of the equation. We therefore need to balance the equation by changing the composition of the other side in the same way, which means that we will also multiply by 8 on the right hand side. There we are multiplying by 8 on both sides. On the left hand side to eliminate the 8, on the right hand side to balance the equation. Now we have the 8 being eliminated from the left hand side. PS is the only thing left on that left hand side. Everything else is on the right hand side, and PS is therefore equal to 8 times cos 60. The cosine of 60 degrees is 0.5, so we will replace that cos 60 by 0.5, and all that we have left is PS is equal to 8 times 0.5, which is equal to 4. Therefore, PS is equal to 4 centimeters, and we would have found PS. But do not forget that we use just an additional knowledge base in finding PS earlier on. That might not be acceptable in an examination, but at least before we started, we know what the answer is. So remember that PS was already calculated. We are only showing another way how it may be done. And this way that we are showing will be the legitimate way as it pertains to what is required in an examination. The previous method is just to ensure that before we start, we know what the correct answer will be. For access to hundreds of free videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Richard James Mathematics Resources. For unlimited access to thousands of exclusive full-length videos, please subscribe to our Vimeo channel, Richard James Mathematics Resources.